You got felony conviction.
Before the sun even rises, officers and other officials from Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, some from as far away as Atlanta and Miami, gather in this parking lot to go over the details of this morning's mission one last time. The goal? To apprehend 3 illegal aliens in North Carolina who committed crimes, went to prison and served their time, were released, but stayed in this country illegally.
The primary responsibility of Fugitive Operations is to locate and arrest criminal aliens or aliens with a final order of deportation who are prepared to be removed from the United States.
Stephen Redmond, the Assistant Field Office Director for the Atlanta Field Office for ICE, is the only one we're allowed to show on camera. The others are all undercover. Department of Homeland Security policy also prevents us from showing the faces of the individuals as they're being taken into custody. But we can show you their mugshots. The first individual they're looking for is Jose Manuel Lopez of El Salvador, a convicted sex predator who served time for indecent liberties with a child and kidnapping and is a known gang member.
I think if you don't mind, if you can kind of leave the light just off. Okay. I think for safety reasons.
Can we get him?
If that's all right.
As we approach the first location, we have to turn the light off on our camera for safety reasons while officers move in on this apartment in Durham. Officers make their way inside and are able to take Lopez into custody.
They were able to identify the individual was the one that we had targeted. They took him into custody, verified he wasn't on any medication or anything that he needed to before he departed, and we've taken him into custody. He's in the vehicle, and we're going to move on out and process him.
Before they do that, it's on to the next location, an apartment complex in Raleigh.
Well, this individual has eluded law enforcement on 2 different occasions. They've attempted to arrest him in New York and in New Jersey.
They're looking for Juan Enamorado, who went to prison for trafficking heroin and cocaine, was ordered to leave the country when he got out, but instead came to North Carolina. ICE officers spot him getting into his vehicle and move in.
Yes.
They're able to surround him and take him into custody.
That's a big one for us, yeah.
Next stop, this apartment complex in Garner. Again, ICE officers get who they're looking for, an illegal alien who served time for assault on a female. Now that the fugitives have been taken off the streets, they're taken to the Immigration Customs Enforcement Office in Cary, where the deportation process begins. They're fingerprinted and have new mugshots taken. ICE officers will check to see if they have any outstanding warrants that they need to head to trial on. If not, the removal process begins, which could take weeks or even years.
I think the community is a safer place as a result of taking those 3 individuals off the streets. At the same time, we've restored a little more integrity to the immigration system.
No IAQs today.
Pitt County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Robert Rumpf is asking about illegal alien queries, IAQs, questions they ask new inmates to help determine if they're illegal aliens. That information is then forwarded to Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. One tool lawmen were hoping to have to fight illegal immigration brought officials from all over Eastern Carolina to Greenville last August, the 287G program. Local officials would be trained by ICE and be able to begin the deportation process locally. Now that program appears dead in Eastern Carolina.
The actual 287G program itself, the reason that's not here now and probably will not be here is because it takes a significant amount of manpower and equipment.
And with local jails bursting at the seams, Manning says they don't have the space to continue to house illegal aliens while they await deportation. Plus, he says the IAQ program seems to be working. So far this year, the Pitt County Sheriff's Department has questioned 100 inmates.
Out of that 100, we've had 11 who were already identified by ICE as being under detainer or were sought under detainers for possible deportation.
Meaning once local charges are resolved and any sentence served, local officials would detain the illegal aliens until ICE comes to pick them up to begin the deportation process.
Partnerships with the local, state, and other federal agencies are essential in our mission to protect our communities.
Barbara Gonzalez is the communications director for the southern region of ICE. She says whether it's 287G, the IAQ program, or others, one thing is certain.
Our message clearly is that anyone in violation of immigration laws should not be surprised if they're arrested.
A desolate coast now, but soon it will be bustling as summer tourism season rolls around. Usually, temporary foreign workers are flooding the coast now, filling a lot of the seasonal jobs, like here at Grandy's Farm Market in Currituck County. But not this year.
Normally this would be, all these displays would be full of produce now, and we would have customers. And as you can see now, everything's in mothballs.
Grandy's business of 21 years sits empty, like many other seasonal businesses, waiting for those workers who come here on temporary worker permits known as H-2B visas after passing a criminal background check. This year, no workers. Whitecap Linen in Columbia in Terrell County, which services many of the Outer Banks hotels and cottages, is in the same boat.
Actually, this year we have requested for them to come in the 1st of April. As it stands right now, we won't be getting any of those employees.
The problem? The U.S. grants 66,000 of the H-2B visas a year. They go to the states that need the workers first. This year, the visas are already gone. There had been an exemption for temporary workers who had been here before, meaning they did not count against that cap and could return to where they previously worked. That exemption has expired, and Congress has not renewed it. Those who rely on the workers say Hispanic lawmakers are blocking a vote on the legislation as they push for immigration reform, including amnesty for people here illegally. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus, representing those lawmakers, argues such visa programs protect the employer at the expense of the worker.
It's a complicated political football, and unfortunately we've been used as a hostage in this.
It's not just businesses here along the coast feeling the effects of the temporary workers' stalemate. It's happening all across the state, and the country for that matter, having an impact on businesses like farming, landscaping, even the seafood industry.
I'm really disappointed in our government that they would allow this to happen.
And Sherry Carawan of Matamesquite Seafood fears the empty rooms of her 25-year-old crab-picking business will stay this way if there's no resolution.
We will have to close because you can't work if you don't have the workers.
While the H-2B program is a legal way for foreigners to come to the United States to work those temporary jobs and then return home, there are those who are against the visas altogether, arguing they take jobs away from Americans. And if employers paid more, Americans would take them. The employers who rely on the H-2B workers say the wages are set by the Employment Security Commission and that they are largely low-wage, low-skilled jobs that are only going to pay so much. They say it's kind of a catch-22. They could pay more, but that cost would then be passed on to consumers who may not buy those goods and services. As for hiring locally, Whitecap Linen has a sign in front of its business, but is having no luck.
The people that we find that come in to put in applications, they just don't stay at the job. They will work a few hours, maybe they'll work a day, and we don't see them back again.
And in Hyde County, which has the state's highest unemployment rate at over 11%, Carawan says she can't find any workers either for the temporary jobs.
I have advertised separately from what we're mandated to advertise for, and I've gotten no responses.
That's why she and so many others have been lobbying Congress to pass the H-2B visa exemption legislation, known as Save Small Business. The message she's delivered face-to-face to lawmakers in Washington, D.C.?
You're asleep now, but you wait until May and June when all the summer peak load businesses are scrambling, trying to hold on to their businesses, and then you're going to wake up.
I'm not going to roll over and play dead. I'm not going to give up 21 years of everything we've worked for.